What is up, awesome peeps? Brent McCluskey here with Electrified Reviews, and today we are reviewing the Walnutt Spectra Silver electric skateboard, or as I like to call it, the Silver Surfer, because this thing looks like it is straight out of a movie, back from the future. I don't know, this thing looks amazing. You can even see the camera and the reflection of the board here. It's pretty dope. However, oh, also, by the way, we are doing a giveaway on the Walnut Spectra Mini, which is the baby brother or baby sister of this board right here. It's basically a penny board. I'll go ahead and throw up a picture of that right here, and we'll talk more about how to enter that here later on. But I know a lot of you guys are tuning in right now probably for the giveaway results of the other giveaway that we just hosted, which is going to be the which is going to be the T&Run R3S folding electric scooter. That giveaway has concluded. If you guys did not enter that one, we had a bunch of different ways you could enter it. It was hosted on Gleam. You could do subscribe to Twitter, subscribe to Instagram, follow us on YouTube, Facebook likes. There was a bunch of different ways to enter, but yes, that is closed now. So without any further ado, here is the winner of the T&Run R3S folding electric scooter giveaway. And the winner is Steve Capper, and he won by visiting us on Instagram. So that was, again, one of the ways to enter. So if you did not win that giveaway, do not worry. We still have, I think, 1 or 2 other giveaways that are active right now. And of course, we have this one that's coming up, and which, again, we will talk more about that. But first, let's roll the B-roll. All right, awesome peeps. So again, this is the Walnut Spectra Silver electric skateboard. A lot of kind of like name addendums to that. Walnut has, the company brand is Walnut here for this board. They've got a bunch of different versions of this board. They've got the Spectra X, which is their newest one. They've got the Spectra Mini, which is one we're giving away. It's so small. It's awesome. It's super compact. It's like legit like this big. But this one is the silver, and I think this is really their top of the line board. This is the best product that they have to offer, and it starts at $13.99. So it better be a good product, right? Because that's a pretty high price point for an electric scooter. Honestly, especially for one that's not even full size. This is just, a compact electric scooter. First and foremost, before we even dive into the specs, we gotta touch on how this thing looks, man. Me personally, look, this thing is flashy, yes, but I love the way this thing looks. It looks like it's from the future. It looks like it's something that honestly the Silver Surfer would use from the comic, Marvel comic universe, whatever. But more than that, it's actually a really high performing electric skateboard. It's probably the most powerful board. It is the most powerful board that we've ever tested. This thing climbs hills like a monster. It's pretty fast, and it does have some really intuitive and cool ways to use this board. Yeah, so we'll talk about that. So let's start here with the motors, okay? So this is a 4-wheel drive electric skateboard, okay? 4 wheels, 4 motors, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, we couldn't find the exact output for each of these motors. It wasn't listed on the Walnut website. Whatever, not really that big of a deal. A lot of times, honestly, for electric skateboards, companies will kind of exaggerate the wattages for electric skateboard motors. I don't know why they do that, but like you look at a lot of electric skateboards and they'll be like 1,000-watt motor. It's like, there's just, maybe it's possible, but you guys have seen the electric bikes that we review, the electric scooters. 1,000-watt motor is gonna be probably about this big. It's just, right? I don't know. Maybe they figured out a way to do it. It doesn't matter. The point is, look, even though I don't know the exact output for the motors for this skateboard, I'll tell you right now that the Spectra Silver is going to be the most powerful board we have tested, hands down, without a doubt. It's almost kind of scary powerful, right? Like when you hit the throttle, the acceleration curve on this is very gentle. Even in the sport mode, it's a very gentle acceleration, but once it gets up to kind of the mid-range of power, it starts to unleash all of the acceleration that it can do. It starts to really unleash that torque, and it just whoosh, it kind of rockets off. It will seriously climb hills like this and then some. I mean, I have not been able to find a hill that this thing can't tackle. Honestly, even when I go up hills, like, it doesn't even bog down. It doesn't even slow down really at all. It's incredibly powerful. Now, on the flip side of that, for using that power, the braking on this is also incredibly powerful. It uses all 4 motors for electronic braking, and it brakes so hard, even just with the stock setting, that if I don't lean back far enough, the board will actually start to endo when I brake. Because remember, it's using all 4 of these motors to brake, so it's just tons of braking power. Now, you can adjust the braking power, you can adjust the output, all that stuff in the settings on the app, and we'll talk more about that in a second, but let's keep going to the specs here. So the top speed on this is gonna be 22 miles an hour, which, look, you might think that's a little bit fast for a shorter board like this. You might think that there's gonna be speed wobbles introduced, but honestly, that was not the case at all. This is an incredibly stable board. It's probably the most stable board that we've ever tested as well. Now, the flip side of that is when you have all that stability, you do have a sacrifice of maneuverability, and this is definitely not a carving board. If you're looking for something that you can carve back and forth and just, kind of lazily just, surf the streets, nah, man, this is not the board for you. This is much more of a straight line board, really, I think, kind of geared towards commuters, not really people looking to, to carve and stuff. It's just not how this thing handles. It's very straight line. And it does have a little tiny bit of a tail. You can probably see it, just a little bit of a tail. It allows you to kind of kick it around, but really, it's even that amount of maneuverability, I would say, is not even real, because it's so heavy that it's hard to kick this thing around. And plus, I would want to be really careful kicking this around, because again, look at the finish of this. This body here is magnesium alloy. This thing weighs about 19 pounds. And I just don't want to scratch the bottom here by kicking it too hard and dragging this across the street. I mean, that's just me. Maybe you guys wouldn't care, but the point is look, this is a fast board. It's a powerful board, but it's a straight line board. So just kind of keep that in mind, right? Now, the range on this is going to be about 12 miles or so. That's what the company estimates. And of course, like we always say with range, it's going to depend a lot on the rider and how this thing is ridden, right? So for me, I weigh about 185 pounds or 180 pounds, something like that. I'm carrying like 25, 30 pounds of gear with me, and I'm typically going full throttle up hills. So for me, my real world range is gonna be about 5 or 6 miles, about half. And that's generally about what I get for real world range out of electric vehicles, because that's how I ride them. Now, if you guys put this in a lower power output mode, if you're not going full throttle all the time, if you're a lighter rider, if you're going on flatter ground, yeah, you're probably gonna get 12 miles out of this. You might even get a little bit more. It just kind of depends. But one of those things about the motors, because they're so powerful, is when you do ask for a lot of power from this thing, it gives it to you, and consequently, it just sucks the juice out of this thing so quick. Now, talks a little bit about the construction of this thing. This is a magnesium alloy body, which is just beautiful. I really love it. It's a very nice finish. The fit and finish of this thing all around is just, it's spot on, man. There's like really nothing wrong with this. Nothing that it's hard to pick this thing apart, Now, one thing I can say is kind of a negative or con for the Spectra Silver here is the battery is internal and it's not removable. At least it's not removable very easily. So that means that I can't extend the range on this by buying extra batteries. So there is that. So however much range you get out of this is how much range you're gonna get out of it. You're not swapping the batteries. It also means that while yes, the batteries are protected from dirt and debris because they're inside the deck here, you can't charge the batteries separately from the board. So again, just something to keep in mind here. Let's talk about how to control this board. So there are 3 ways that I can control this board. First we'll just talk about the posture control. So if you look at the top of this deck, you'll see these kind of lines around it here, and that's, I guess, like a loose map of how to put your feet. Basically, this thing has 3D posture control, and it senses my movement and it interprets my intentions, and it basically turns that into movement, right? So if I lean forward, start putting pressure on the front of this deck, it thinks to itself, oh, this guy, he wants to go forward. Okay, so it starts to gradually move you forward. Same thing if I want to stop, if I want to slow down, I lean back and it'll beep, beep, beep. It kind of lets you know that, hey, these powerful brakes are about to activate, and then the brakes activate and it starts to slow down. Now there's kind of a lag. there's a lag, right? So if I lean forward, there's a lag from the time that I start trying to get it to do something to the time that it actually does something. If I lean back, there's a lag. It takes a minute for it to just figure everything out. And because of that, I wouldn't recommend using this thing on the sport mode, which is, you know, the most powerful, the fastest mode that it goes on. It doesn't feel that safe, honestly. I personally would not cruise around on this thing with posture control at full speed. No way. It's too fast, it's too powerful. I would, however, and I have used it on the slower modes, like 10, 12 miles an hour, and it's a really cool feeling to just dump the remotes and be able to just cruise on this board with no remote. It's very interesting. First time I've used a posture control board like this. I don't even think there's that many of them out there. So if you like that, it has it, that's cool. However, it does also have a remote, which I prefer, right? So it comes with this remote right here. I'll get you a little bit closer here. And you can focus. I think it's focused, I don't know. But anyways, this is the remote. Pretty standard stuff. Now, the remote on this, it has 3 different settings on it that you can activate: low, medium, and high. You can control it on this right here. So if I turn the remote on, if I turn the board on, to turn it on, it's a little button right back here. I'll go ahead and do that. Long press. And you'll see that the lights here are kind of like a, I don't know, pale blue. And you'll see a rear tail light, should be red right here. Okay, now if I hit the power button on this remote, it should automatically sync up to this and right back here. I'll go ahead and do that. And you just heard it double click or double beep, and I think this thing turned a darker shade of blue, and that lets you know that, hey, oh, there we go. Yeah, we can start using the remote. The remote is fine. It works pretty good. It's not my favorite remote, honestly, for electric skateboards. My biggest gripe about this remote is, well, I would say 2 main things. Number one, I like that it has different modes for this, but I wish that they would change the algorithm for acceleration and deceleration depending on the modes. The sport mode feels a lot like the basic mode, the simplest mode or the lowest power mode as far as how fast it accelerates. It doesn't really feel like it just feels like there's a lot of power that's not being used on this board. Now, when you are in the higher mode, you get to the higher speeds, yes, but I don't know. It's not a bad thing. Maybe it's just a preference thing, but I would like to see in the future maybe a firmware update where it really kind of tweaks the power output of this board. So if I have it in sport mode, I mean, I want this thing to burn rubber when I hit the gas. And I know that it can because it can endo when I stop. So I know that it's got the power there in the motors. The other thing that I'm not huge on with this remote is the fact that it's got no feedback, right? I have no idea how much battery is left in this. I have no idea how fast I'm going, and there's no electronic feedback on the board as well. So if I want to check how much battery is left in the board, if I want to check how fast I'm going or any sort of electronic information about this board, I have to unsync this, I have to turn the remote off, I have to grab my phone, sync it with the app, open the app, and then check it that way. That's a lot of steps just to figure out the battery. So I would really like to see, again, in a future version of this, just throw a little LCD indicator in here and let's see how much battery we have at a glance. That'd be really, really helpful. Otherwise though, the ergonomics of this it's pretty comfy. I like how it's got the little finger loop. You just put it in there, it feels secure. If I let go somehow, I mean, it's not gonna fall out of my hands. So I do like how it feels in my hand. Those are just my only gripes if I'm being picky, because honestly, I have to be picky about something with this board because there's just a lot of pros to it, right? Now, look, $13.99, that is expensive. So I wanna show you guys this other board here from Walnut as well. This is their Spectra X, okay? It's going to be similar to the Spectra Silver here. It still has the posture control, so if I want to use that, I can do it, and it still has the app, so I can control the board that way, and it still has the remote control, same exact remote control as the Silver, so I can use that to control this board. However, the starting price on this is only $5.99, so a huge savings compared to the Silver. What you lose, or what the biggest difference is between this and the Silver, is this is a dual wheel drive. It's only got 2 motors here in the back. These are just regular wheels. They're not motors here. The finish is just not as nice. It's not as beautiful as the Silver. However, it does have a removable battery. I think you just go like this. Yeah, and boom, swap the battery out if you want to. The range is gonna be, I don't remember what the range is on this. I think it's like half as much as the Silver, but if you guys do want something where you have swappable batteries, then this might be a better option for you because you do have that. Now we also do have the Spectra Mini, and I'm gonna go and throw a picture of that up right here. And that's that penny board that I was talking to you guys about earlier. that's the one we're giving away actually, which is, I don't have that board unfortunately, but that's a dope looking board, and I really like that one because it's just so compact, and that will be, I think it would be difficult to ride because it's so compact, but it'd be pretty cool to just, you could toss the thing in a backpack, man, and carry it pretty much anywhere with you. So I really like that. Yeah, so I just want to show you guys this board real quick. But other than that, I think that's just about it for the Spectra Silver review, guys. I think the next thing to do now is take this for a test ride and show you this board in action. So here we go. All right, awesome peeps. So again, in summary, the Walnutt Spectra Silver electric skateboard, kind of a mouthful to say. This thing starts at $13.99, which is definitely a higher price point for electric skateboards, but it comes with a lot. This is just, it's the most powerful board that we've tested. Like we talked about, the braking power on this is superb. It does have some really cool tech if you guys are into that, you know, remoteless travel, just being able to have posture control, dump the remotes. You don't have to use your phone. You don't have to use, you know, this thing. It's just posture control. That's really cool. If you guys are into that, then this is going to be a board you're probably going to dig as well. Again, don't forget that if this one is too high of a price point, Walnut does have quite a few other options. You know, they've got the Spectra X, which is their newest one, $5.99, and it has a swappable battery. So there's even some kind of pros for that one compared to this one. But really, this board right here is going to be geared for commuters who have mid-distance commutes, but really for people who probably are going to be fighting hills, because remember, this is a very powerful board, both for going up hills and for braking going downhill. So if you live in San Francisco or just a really hilly area, this board is going to excel for you for going up those steep hills and being able to make those commutes that may otherwise have been impossible, now possible for a personal electric vehicle of this type, electric skateboard, right? This is also going to be good for people who, look, let's just be real, who want something flashy, who want something that looks good, because this board, man, it just looks super, super sweet. I love this board, the way it looks. It's just honestly fantastic. This magnesium body here, the construction is just really great. The finish is amazing. Really just no complaints about that at all. Now for the giveaway for the Spectra Mini, guys, we're gonna host that again on Gleam. There's gonna be just as many ways as possible that we can give you to enter. All the standard stuff, of course, you know, you can like, sub, and comment on this video right here. Visit us on Instagram, Facebook, whatever. We're gonna have all that stuff listed on Gleam. We'll leave a link to that in in the description here. So if you want to enter for the giveaway for the Walnut Spectra Mini, which is the little version of this, the penny board, again, that will be in the description. Check that out, follow the link, and follow the instructions on how to enter for Gleam. So look, I hope you guys are having a fantastic day. Hope you're having a great holiday season so far. The holidays are upon us. If you get that reference, you're amazing. Anyways, I hope you guys are having a really good day. Thank you very much for watching, and I will catch you guys next time.